voice of a lot of anime characters in the English dub versions. You might know me as Ryukyu from My Hero Academia, Himeno from Chainsaw Man, Baby Five from One Piece, Nikki from Doctor Stone, or dozens of others. Nice to meet you.
So, you voice Himene, or am I pronouncing it right? Because it's spelled differently.
Himeno.
Himeno, thank you. In Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is a very gritty, intense anime,
Mhm.
um, seemingly filled with tragic heroes. Now, can you tell us the process of how you got the role to how you approach the subject material?
Sure. So for Chainsaw Man, they had a very intense audition process
Hmm.
because a lot of anime that we work on, there's just no time to audition. And sometimes they'll only audition for certain characters, but for Chainsaw Man, almost every major character, there was an audition, and it was one of those where you send in your audition, you don't have to go in physically and do it. But they cast a wide net to LA actors, Texas actors, all over the place, and I believe there were hundreds of people that they auditioned for these roles. So it was a huge honor to be one of them that got chosen. I will never forget actually the day I found out that I was cast as Himeno was a day that was previously very rough on me. I had a very painful medical procedure done, and I was laying on the couch like suffering and crying in pain, and I got the email that I was cast as Himeno, and I was like, oh, I feel better. I'm not thinking about that anymore. So I have to give a lot of credit to Mike McFarland, the ADR dub director for Chainsaw Man. He always gets very, very involved in the source material and the manga, reading the manga, like any information that he can get about the show ahead of time, he will sink his teeth into it. And he, after I heard there were so many auditions, but he listened to every single one of them because he wanted to make sure he got it just right. And with Mike, you often will do a lot of takes of the same lines because he has a very like specific ear for what's gonna like sing, what's gonna pop. And I think that really shows in the dubs that he works on. He's also the dub director for Attack on Titan and Hell's Paradise and lots of other big name shows. And it's because he's really good at what he does. And so I felt really good about the final product as an actor because I knew that only my best was going to make it into, yeah.
So, I mean, those that aren't too familiar with voice acting, so you never felt like you were lost in, it's like, I don't know if this character actually would sound like this or that.
I've definitely had that in the past, and that's more to do with the ADR scriptwriter, which is another job that I actually have done for years as well, taking the translation and adapting it into the animation. We call it the flaps, the mouth movements on screen, for a Western audience. And for Chainsaw Man, Jessica Sly's, the ADR writer, was also just a huge nerd for the show, and that's what makes you a good ADR director or writer is being a nerd for whatever show that you're working on. If you weren't before, then you are now. And Jessica really absolutely nailed the tone of this show, like
Mm.
all those little cute kind of slangy things that she had Denji saying they were perfect for the time period and for the character. And so on this show, I didn't feel any kind of uncertainty about Himeno being misrepresented in the script because Jessica's really good at her jobs.
So I know that it is the Halloween season. Is Halloween your favorite season?
How did you know?
I did a little research. It's like this seems like because you collect Halloween decor and all
Yes.
that. Okay, sweet, sweet. Anything specific or is just like whatever? It's just like oh man, that's cute. Let me get that.
I'm a little bit picky. I like skeletons and bats the most.
Mm.
I kind of stay away from pumpkins because they're seasonal, but skeletons and bats are year round. I have a little Halloween village, like you know how like a lot of old ladies have Christmas villages in their
Right, right.
houses with like the cotton on the ground for snow. I have a Halloween village, and it's got a little coffee shop and a little little carnival.
Is it anything similar to Nightmare Before Christmas?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
It's like little tiny people. I have like little zombies that are walking home from the coffee shop and just a little scene. It's cute.
Nice. Are you? Because it's making me think. Are you? Um. What is the movie? Transylvania. Are you a fan of Transylvania?
Hotel Transylvania?
Right.
Yeah, I lean more into like horror, but like cutesy horror is, cutesy spooky Halloween themed stuff is always my jam.
So have you? How many characters have you cosplayed as that you also voice?
Oh, you did do your research. I try to do that every Halloween. This year I had so many obligations I didn't manage to get around to one. But last year I did Baby Five from One Piece, and the year before that I think was pandemic times. Yeah, there was pandemic, and I just didn't because a lot of us just didn't. Um, but a few years back, I did China from Saint Seiya, from the Netflix CG version. So,
Is it
so
worth watching?
I like it. I
Okay.
personally really like it. It's a different take on the story completely.
I haven't started it yet, so I was like, should I start this one or should I old school?
Um, I would start with that one just because it's more squished.
Mm.
What's the word?
No, it's nice.
Concise. Yeah, it's more concise.
Okay, sweet, sweet. Because I'm a huge Shonen Jump guy, so it's like, yeah.
Oh, you'd like it for sure.